Salutations, everyone. This is the butterfly. How are you doing? I hope you are doing well. Okay, let me get comfortable. I do this every time. It's all right. It might be, my way of getting into the stream of things, okay? Especially when I don't play music before the show, all right? I guess that's my way of getting my vibration in the flow. Okay. And as the title of the video says, okay, speaking is spelling, so you must be careful what you conjure. Okay. So today's live is going to be about the power of speaking. Okay. The power of speaking. It's a part of manifesting, and we have to be careful what we are manifesting into our worlds. Okay. So I felt like it was important to uh, make a video on this subject because people just don't realize how important. Sorry, my eye a little itching in here. Forgive me. Okay, I'm getting into it. Oh, if you ever itched, when you get to touch the itch and scratch it, it feel good. You get into it. It's like the other day I was scratching my ears with the Q-tip. I was just like, I was scratching my ears, but as I was getting the itch or whatever, I closed my eyes and I just like got into it. And I'm saying to myself, shit like this you really can't do when you driving. It's just like, but that's a whole nother show. Ah, speaking is spelling, so you have to be careful what you conjure. What do I mean by that? Okay. I mean, basically, you have to be careful what you speak of because it manifests through speaking. It's a part of manifesting that we speak things into existence. All right. So if you're always telling yourself that you can't do something, you have already failed before you've even tried. Okay. You're going to tell yourself that you're going to do something. I mean, it may not be done perfectly the first time because who does anything perfect the first time they've ever done it? Even if they are what we call a natural. Okay. Still going to have some learning curves. All right. So, with that regard, you have to be patient with yourself. So we have to start somewhere, speaking positively. That way we can manifest, conjure, if you will, positive things into our lives. Okay. And in addition to that, we need to have a positive perspective about how we see ourselves. Okay, because some people may see their lives as difficult. Okay, like I used to see. My life is so hard, so difficult. Everyone else has it so easy. Why does it have to be so hard for me? And just thinking that way, it just would like put me in the feeling of not really wanting to put too much effort into things just because, I don't want to chance the disappointment of it. You know what I'm saying? And knowing how hard it's going to be, how hard I'm saying to myself that it's going to be. So I'm already putting obstacles in my road before I even attempt to do the thing. Okay, I hope I'm making sense. So I basically had to change my perspective about how I saw the challenges in my life because honestly, challenges are they're going to happen. They're inevitable. Challenges in life are a part of our growth. And if we see uh the things in our lives that we view as negative, if we view them as a challenge that we've gotten over that helps to build our character, it takes on a different tone. Okay. Just like if you're like, okay, when you're working out in the gym, and in the beginning, like you get in the gym and you see all these people working out, and they're lifting all of these heavy weights, and I mean, like you just started, so you're not going to just go right to the heavy weights. It's like even if you wanted to, you wouldn't be able to do it because you did not build up your muscle. You know what I'm saying? So like, you have to build up your muscle, you have to build up your strength. So if you see these challenges as, building up your muscle, I feel like you won't take it so, it will be easier to uh, overcome these challenges and recognize uh, the accomplishment, recognize the victory of you. And in addition to victory, the strength, recognize your strength, that you're stronger than you realize, because like you might have been in a place that you just didn't think you were going to make it because it was so hard. And you may have been telling yourself that, listen, I can't do it, you know, but you done it. And if you see things from a different perspective, basically, if you speak about them differently, if you tell the story differently, like, instead of being a victim of the story, you become, a victor, if you get my meaning. So speaking is so very important. It's just like the way how you speak to your loved ones. I was when I was in dialysis, I was sitting next to this guy, and he would talk about how he bought this nice vehicle for his wife, and he would take her out on nice dinners and this, that, and the other. But the way he would talk to her and the way he would talk about her to the staff in the dialysis unit, it was just weird. He would talk about her negatively. So one of the things I learned is like it's very difficult to experience both two emotions at the same time, right? And what I mean by that, try smiling and feeling angry. The muscles that are engaged when smiling, they attach to a higher frequency. You know what I'm saying? So like, if when you smile, it's like you're in a humorous frequency, so it's hard to stay in that anger vibration. Okay, now the two of them can wrestle and kind of like, mesh with each other, but one of them won't really take uh over the other, if you get what I'm saying. If you're smiling or whatever, it kind of takes away from the power of the anger and kind of balances it out. So from that point, you have more of a control of which emotion you want to express going forward, because like emotions, because they are the water uh element, especially of the tarot, which is fittingly described as water, because like If you don't have a big enough vessel to contain water, it can overtake you. It can drown you. It can kill you. It's, in fact, all of the elements can kill you: fire, water, air, earth. Okay, spirit. They could all kill you. Okay, so you have to be very careful. But I think I'm getting off of the subject. Basically, speaking, you have to be careful what you speak into your life. Okay, and what you accept. In addition to that, because uh speaking carries an energy with it. So, like, when someone is always giving you backhanded compliments, you need to pay attention to that, because there's a vibration with it. There's an aggressive vibration to it. Okay, that you need to be aware of. You can't just ignore these things, because they usually escalate. Because this person is obviously feeding their aggressive nature. Okay. And when I say feeding their aggressive nature, I mean that's a whole nother show that I'm going to be doing regarding the dark wolf and the white wolf. But my point is like you can't ignore like jabs and aggressive negative speaking. Okay, and it's not good to speak negatively about yourself. Like, oh, I'm so stupid, or oh, like, I'll never be able to do this, or I'm just not good enough. These things carry a vibration. Okay, and they conjure up obstacles that are put in your road to help you realize that you are creating your own challenges in your life by not really uh, understanding the power of what you're speaking. Okay, what you're speaking, what you're thinking, and what you're seeing and hearing. Okay, these things have an effect on us, and we have to be so mindful. Okay, because it lowers the vibration, and when your vibration is lower, you are more open to negative influences and impulses. Okay, which is something that almost always gets you in trouble. Gets all of us in trouble. Okay, so that's why I feel like it's so important to speak kindly about yourself, to be patient with yourself, okay? Because it helps you to be patient with others. You know, the uh, the energy of emotion is described as in the tarot as cups. All right, so like whatever, however you are loving yourself, you're filling your cup with that love and you're drinking of it, and this is what you are offering to other people. Okay, so if you're putting negativity into your cup, okay, and drinking it, you only have negativity to offer to other people. All right, and it goes along with speaking positively about yourself, about situations. And I'm not saying not to speak truthfully. You can speak truthfully without speaking negatively, if that makes sense. You can tell someone that they hurt your feelings without uh lashing out, without maybe cursing them out as a response to whatever they did to hurt your feelings. It's just like I hope I'm making sense. It's really uh important that we understand the vibration and the power of how we're speaking. Okay, it's like I was watching this video the other day. Well, I haven't seen it since I made the comment, and I think maybe the creator took it offensively, but I was not trying to be offensive. You know, that's another thing. I suppose I should work on. I give help when people don't ask for it. It's just because like you need to ask for help. If you can't help yourself, sometimes you need to ask for help, and it just bothers me to no end when I see someone that could use help and I could help them, and I just don't say anything. You know what I'm saying? But then when I do say anything, they prefer me not to say anything. And I think that has a lot to do with pride. Okay. It has a lot to do with pride. And we have to let that go so that we can heal. We have to let go of these things that are holding us back. And that just goes to one of the other obstacles we put in our own road. Pride is another obstacle we put in our road that keeps us from getting to where we need to be to get balance in a situation that we may be going through. Okay. And especially when people don't want to reach out, okay, and they kind of like sulk in their situation and they sink into depression because they don't see any way out, and they're speaking negatively. All right, they're not self-motivated, they don't have any inspiration, they're always, and this is another problem I have with religion. It's like it's like self-reliance is not taught. It's like, okay, I'm gonna pray for like 5 hours and beg my heart out, and this should do it. You know what I'm saying? When you can use those same 5 hours to be looking for solutions for your issue. You know what I'm saying? You can be the solution to your own problem. But again, that is another show. Okay. It is very important to speak positively. All right. Like, all right, what I want to get to it. The other day, I was watching a show and watching a video, and this lady, she was, she, the first video I ever saw is like she was looking real sad and forlorn and whatnot. And she was like, this her last video. That's what she said on it was her last video. She was saying how she was sitting in her car, and because her car is warm and her house that she owns is cold. Okay, so I'm like, okay, well, try to get, I didn't say anything at that time. So then she goes on to talk about how she went to a food pantry, and the lady at the food pantry, because usually the food pantry is at the church. Okay, if they not at like a community center, the soup kitchens, the pantries, from my knowledge, they are at the church. Okay, so she said she went to this lady, and as she was, she getting her food or donation or whatever, and I guess she was telling the lady about her problems or whatsoever, and the lady was telling her that because of the jewelry that she was wearing, the demonic jewelry that she was wearing, that's why her life was going in a terrible direction. And I'm like, like some people are something else. Like what would this same lady say about this preacher who's being arrested because he's giving one of his parishioners oral sex in the parking lot, who's underage? Talk about he I have had it. I mean, just where is the morals at? Like people really just don't have any sense. You know what I'm saying? It's just so she's talking about and she's talking about that or whatever. And then there was a next video where she's on the. I think I put a pot. When she was talking about how cold it was in her house, and how she's in her house and she got to wear jackets and stuff like that or whatever. So this particular video, she's on the video and she is covered up with what looks like, you know, those, it's a one of those blankets, it's a silver blanket. I thought it was like a burn blanket, or no, it's a hypothermia blanket. When they people get hypothermia, it's like this silver kind of, it looks like aluminum foil blanket. She had one of those. And she's on the video, but she has the blanket over her head and she is sobbing. You can't even see her. You could just see the blanket shaking with her sobbing, saying that she's so cold. She's covered up this that she's so in her emotions. She's drowning in them. Okay. We is watching her drown. That she cannot see the freaking life raft that we trying to throw her. And what I mean by that is, like, I told her, I was like, I put in the comment, I was like, look, go and boil some water. Get you a pot, the biggest pot that you have, and fill it with water, put it on the stove, and boil it. Okay. If she would have been able to answer me like, "Oh, well, I don't have a stove, this, that, and the other, whatever," I don't know, cause like if you go into a pantry, you must be able to store the food or whatever. She said her hallway is like a freezer or whatsoever, but I don't know if her boiler doesn't work or if her fire doesn't. I'm just not sure. You know what I'm saying? All I know is, like, you can, as a homeowner, you can get help from certain programs or whatever. But I was like, so I'm like, boil the water, boil the water. It will heat up the house. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you from experience, like everything I'm coming to you guys with on this fucking video. All right. If I'm telling you as advice, it's because I fucking tried it. It's like I'll be trying to help people to better their own situation so they can, but then I'm starting to feel like they just like the attention they get when people is like, "Oh, poor you." But fuck that, we're getting out of that, because people have to be able to be to be self sufficient in the way that at least you will try to do something. Like, listen, I watched this show, Naked and Afraid, okay, where these people stay out there for 21 days in the jungle. Sometimes they go to Africa, Australia, they go to different places. You watch the show if you're interested in what I'm saying. They go out there, they agree to go out there. They are naked. They don't even have clothes. Okay. They got one item and they have to build them a shelter. They have to catch their food, kill their food, cook their food, sterilize their water, find water. Like, they have to do a lot. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, yes, they chose to be in that situation, but listen, even though they chose to it, they have to, that teaches them to be resourceful. Okay. So, like, you sitting up there under the blanket and shit, crying and whatnot, that is not helping you. In fact, you only feeding these vampires that like to feed off of our sorrow. You know what I'm saying? And you are more powerful than that. So, like, get up off your ass and go boil the water and be warm. If you gotta get one fucking candle and hold your hands over it, like, we have to be resourceful. You understand? Okay, so like saying that you can't do it and it's too hard and shit like that, that is only talking yourself out of it. That is speaking negatively. You understand? That is not being encouraging. And we need to be able to motivate ourselves when there's no other motivation available. We need to be the one that we need at that moment. Okay. We need to be the person that we need to save us, because that's the one we're there. Like, I was watching this video today, and this guy, he was, after he had married this woman, and They've been together for like 20 years or whatsoever, and he became homeless. He just gave up on himself. He just like, or he just willing to die. And when the guy really started talk to him, if you you want to see how much accomplishments he has. He's like an engineer. He's, he come from good people. Like it just, he's an amazing person, and he just waited to die because he fell hard on his luck. So he just didn't even try. He didn't even feel the need to motivate himself. And it was in talking with this other guy, telling his story, that you saw the light begin to come into his eyes for him to remember himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are not our bad experiences. We are not that. Okay? We are not the mistakes that we make in our lives. We are not that either. We need to speak kindly to ourselves. All right? We need to watch what we putting in our eyes and our ears. Okay? And what we letting come into our atmosphere. We have to be careful of that. You know, if people like, if there's people who like to gossip or whatever, first of all, let's understand something about gossip. If someone is gossiping to you about someone else that they seem to be friendly with, trust and believe they gossiping about you too. You understand? So it's like, do you want to participate in that? Is that something that you want to take into your body? You know, you want to conjure into your life, negativity, gossipy, two-facedness is like lower energy. Do you want to bring that into your life? So, like, you have to be careful. It's like not just what you're speaking, how you allow people to speak to you. You know, because that in itself is a part of loving yourself too. You have to have boundaries. You can't, like, if you imagine somebody that you love, like, how you speak to them, how you care for them, how you consider their feelings. All of these things you have to be able to do for yourself. Okay. And know that you have value. All right. And that you are the one that is responsible for standing up for the soul inside of your starship. You are. Okay. And people are most likely, I mean, notwithstanding like some real outliers, the people mostly treat you how you allow them to treat you, you know. And sometimes they see how you treat yourself and they follow suit. Because if they say you don't care about yourself, you speak to yourself negatively, why should they speak nicely to you? So it's all a vibration that you are putting out, okay, and taking in at the same time. And I think it is important to be careful. So I told her, this lady, basically to stop saying that she can't take it anymore. She's so cold. It was like, okay, I understand you're cold, but sitting there crying on the internet with a freaking blanket over your head, that's not going to help you, sis. It's not going to help you. So you need to encourage yourself. Yes, it's been hard, and I feel like, it's a bitter pill to swallow when you're like, oh, they 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 don't, nobody comes to check on me. I haven't eaten. I this or that. People have to understand we all have a life to live. Okay, we all have a life to live, and maybe that the people haven't checked on you, they haven't this, it's because they're trying to keep themselves afloat, you know so they can't make you the center of their universe when you haven't made you the center of your universe. Like, it makes no sense. Okay. So this guy is like, so going back to this guy who's homeless, and he's like, well, I was just out here waiting to die. And he's like, has so many talents. Okay. He left his job because of depression. You know, it's very, it's very important that we don't stay in a depressive energy. And when you speak negatively about yourself and about your situation, it only adds weight to it. Okay, it only puts more challenges in your road. Okay, now I'm not saying not to acknowledge your feelings, not to acknowledge, that this hurts. Okay, however, you need to tell yourself this will pass. This hurts a lot and this will pass. And I'm going to take my time with myself, okay, until I am fully healed. Because at the end of the day, you have a commitment to yourself, to love yourself, and to be loving to yourself, and to speak lovingly and respectfully to yourself. Because once you do that, you won't accept anything less from anyone else. Okay. And you will give respect as you give it. It will be effortless. It will be natural. Okay. And it's very important. Sometimes like, we talk ourselves out of trying things, like if we're supposed to go out for like a job interview or something or whatever the case may be, we may talk ourselves out of it and say, oh, they'll never call, or oh, I'm not good enough, or oh, I don't think I can, you know, these things like that. It creates obstacles. It conjures up obstacles in your road. It gives you excuses instead of solutions. And if you just change the way you speak, as they say, if you do anything for 21 days, it becomes a habit. Start speaking positively about everything. Try to find the positive aspect about everything. Even if someone cheated, and you guys were about to get married, look at the positive aspect of, yes, this hurts, and I spent a lot of time with them, but I'm glad I found this out before we got married, and I'm gonna, I'll heal from this, and I'll make better decisions for myself next time. Okay. And sometimes you can't beat yourself up because there's liars out there. They're pretty good actors. Okay. So sometimes you just have to do the best you can with the situation that you have. But at the end of the day, it's best to speak positively. Okay. About everything. Even if like your car repairs, you're worried about if it's gonna be a lot of money. I mean, try to think positively. Like, well, it's not going to be more than I have, and it may be less than I think. Okay, you have to kind of like change your perspective about things and change the wording about things. You can express your discomfort or frustration with it. However, you must always add that you're capable of shifting that energy, and finding the solution to your own problem, even if it is asking for help to get you over that hump, to get the final solution done. I mean, it'll be available to you. You just have to start speaking positively. All right. So I didn't plan to stay too long. I just wanted to make sure and come on because I was supposed to come on yesterday, but I didn't feel like it. I got caught up watching telly. I got caught up watching the daggone television. Okay. And I'm teaching myself French. J'étudiais la français. Okay, so I'm gonna pull one card to close out this message. See what the universe wants to say. Okay, and then I may be taking my bubble bath because I bought me some new foaming bubble bath, and it's looking like it's promising to be luxurious. Uh, Look, luxurious. Silly. All right, spirit. What message? I'm using my oracle cards today, my sacred rebel cards. I haven't used these in a while. Okay. These are the cards that started my journey. Sacred rebel cards. I really feel activated with these cards. When I first saw this card, I was like, wow. Like something clicked. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be messing with those. Yeah, I'm saying. Okay. What message can the universe give us regarding the video today? This is the card. This is the card that I saw that started me on a journey. Inner trust. Number two. Wow. I feel like I've come full circle. Inner trust. Wow. I'm going to read the meaning. That's something. Though it may be cloaked and hidden within you, lies natural magnificence, vibrancy, and true uniqueness. The harder that is for you to believe, the more growth this oracle is offering you now. Your opportunity for growth lies in letting go of the need to hide yourself from the world and to let go of any doubt about the wonder of what lies within you. This oracle brings you the message that it is time for you to trust yourself and let the real inner you out from behind the veil. You are being assured that you can trust your intuition and your own sense of things. Sometimes what you sense will be love, and you will open your heart and move easily toward the source of that love. Be it in the form of another person, a new career path, a project which you care deeply about and want to pursue, or a spiritual or creative practice that you are keen to explore. Sometimes what you sense will be more challenging than this and will ask something different of you. It might be that you sense fear and sabotage lurking within someone's intentions or in the situations around you. This oracle asks you to trust yourself, to find the most authentic and self loving way to deal with that. Perhaps you have drawn this card because you are unnecessarily holding yourself back out of fear or a lack of belief in your ability to support and care for yourself, or in the importance of your need for self expression in your relationships. The oracle of inner trust comes to you with this guidance. You know what you are doing. You have enough wisdom and intuition to be able to place yourself more fully in the world. to take steps to unhide yourself, even if you feel you have no clue about what is happening at a broader level in your life. Even if you can't quite see the whole picture of what is taking place within or around you, you still have all the wisdom and intuitive ability you need to take one step at a time and navigate your way through absolutely anything that life brings to your door. If you have been thinking of taking a leap of faith and doing things differently, whether in your personal life or your creative work, then this oracle brings a particular message to trust your instincts and go for it. This oracle comes at a time when the patterns of your life are shifting. You can take advantage of this shift and leap into an entirely new level of consciousness and experience. This is not a time for self doubt or playing small. It is a time to get in touch with the courage, boldness, and daredevil within, and to take that step, big or small, into the future that is beckoning you forward. You have the wings to fly. Sometimes we don't realize it until we leap over the edge of what we have known and begin to soar into a new life. Mm, this is so synchronistic for me just because I was just speaking about this deck being the deck, okay, that activated me on my spiritual journey as far as using the tarot cards. Okay, I would just listen to my intuition, and I really would say sometimes I would say something, but sometimes I wouldn't, just because I was afraid of how I would be looked at or how I would be treated. And when I saw this card, something within me said that even though I was scared, okay, about losing people and what they were going to think, I was afraid. I still had to go forward. I was compelled. I had to go forward, okay, to see, this light that was shining towards me. I had to go forward. Right. So speak positively, think positively, because speaking is spelling, and you have to be careful what you conjure. I was, even writing is conjuring. Writing is conjuring as well. I was watching this movie. Some of you might know it, Tales in the Hood, and the little boy, it's like everything, he would draw pictures, and the pictures that he drew is like the things that he drew would manifest in real life, right? So his stepfather, he envisioned him as his energetically, the boy saw him as a monster, so he drew the stepfather as a monster. And one day when the stepfather was uh, beating the mother and attempting to beat him, he scrunched up the paper, and it started to break up the monster, the stepfather's arm, and things started to break up. It's kind of like the same idea as like the voodoo doll or whatsoever. Like energetically, they're doing these things to you that can manifest in the physical. So, like when you speak negatively, you can conjure up obstacles in your road, difficulties in your life, you know, that will hold you back and create trouble for you. Okay, so we have to be careful what we speak, because speaking is spelling, and we have to be careful what we conjure. That is why I very strenuously disregard good morning, because there's nothing good about morning. Morning means to be sad, not happy, and there's nothing good about that. And thinking about the English language, and when they speak about things, I was saying to myself the other day, well, sheesh, does the universe have a sense of humor? It's not that they don't have a sense of humor, it's that they understand language and vibration. So, and the English language is a very tricky language. It's very tricky, because like even in teaching myself French, uh, the words is like they don't. The words in English is like they like, for instance, they have la la collège in French. That means middle school. Okay, la liberté. That's librairie. That's the library. But that's the bookstore in French. That's not the library. You know what I'm saying? So like the English language is very confusing, and I think it was done that way on purpose, because these freaks know the power of language. Therefore, they have created a very tricky language, uh, and therefore we have to be careful, because everything is a vibration. Speaking is spelling, so we must be careful what we conjure. And today I have my selenite with me. Okay, keep me nice and grounded. And I have my shungite here. And I am working with the lapis lazuli. Okay. So that I didn't get too off the rails, and I kind of I kind of stayed level with my energy, I mean, because I guess this topic didn't get me too riled up, however, it is important, because I realize, people just, they kind of say things about themselves very flippantly, and they don't realize that, you need to not talk to yourself like that. Okay, because when you talk to yourself like that, you feel like it's okay to talk to other people like that, and it's a vibration. It's a vibration. And you want to be kind to yourself, okay? You want to be kind to yourself. And what else did I want to say? If you'd like any of my products, please go to my website. I have all of my links in the description below. If you'd like to give me a donation, much appreciated. Um, what else? Please like, share, and leave me a comment so that I know what know that you're there. I know what you think. I don't know. I don't know if my channel is being shadow banned or not, or maybe people just not interested. I don't know what's happening, but I'm just gonna keep putting it out there, and we'll see what happens. And in the meantime, and in between time, I want to thank you for being here when you can be anywhere else. The butterfly loves you. Namaste.